small fork in the road, a small divergence, and it led to so much. So, like I said, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turned me away from a lifestyle like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided me to something that was better. And it all started with a simple thought in my mind. A simple thought. As I looked at the different groups in my high school, and I assume most people here are high school students, at least that's what they told me. As I looked at the different groups, I realized that, you know what, all these people looking for a good time, their good times are so temporary. It's so temporary, it's going to end like that. And then I looked at the other people who wanted their money and want to promote themselves with their bills. And I realized, you know what, that's also temporary, because you go to the grave and you depart from all of it. You can cover yourself all you want, it's not going to do anything once you pass away. And the same thing with your body. You can try to look as good as you want, it's going to get old, it's going to rot in the grave, and that's the way it's going to be. That's the one thing we know, at least. So that's a fact. So at least I started thinking, I started to wake up and I say, you know what, all these things are too cheap and they're not worth my time. They're too selfish, and they're just not worth my time, and they're boring. They're boring, repetitive, and I didn't like it. And I started thinking about the fact that we're going to go to the grave, and I started thinking about the fact that you will be in the grave. And I started finding out that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes that you will be in the grave and the lid will pop off. The lid of the grave will pop up and you will be resurrected. And you will see mankind running around in a state of insanity, in a state of drunkenness. They will be running around and you will witness this. This is a fact. You will be raised and you will stand and you will see humanity running in a state of insanity. And the sun will be close to your head burning you, and the earth underneath you will be shaking violently, and the mountains will be exploding into dust. And the lakes and the oceans will be burning on fire, and the stars will be thrown out of orbit, and in this incomplete state of chaos, in this complete state of panic, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the human being, عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا أَحْضَرَتْ. عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا أَحْضَرَتْ. Every soul will know what it put forward. Everyone in that state of chaos will know exactly what you did. You will know exactly how you spent your time. Just to give you a small idea of what that would feel like. We're supposed to be all high school kids, right? Apparently. So, in high school, I remember anytime I got called to the principal's office. Right? Every step is so heavy. It's like, would you please come to the principal's office? And then as you're walking through that hallway, you're just like, what did I do? What did they catch me on? You're running through every single action you've ever done. Did they catch me on this? Did somebody wrap me up? Did somebody say this? Did they think I was cheating? What happened? And then your mind is racing, going over every last deed you've ever done. And your mind is burning through all these actions. You will know what you put forward. It's that exact same feeling. And then you find out your mom brought you your lunch or something. I don't know. But the reality is that you do run through every single action that you've done in that moment. Now multiply that by times infinity. Multiply that same feeling, and then maybe you'll have an idea of how you'll feel on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So I ask you, will you have any deeds on that day? Will you have any deeds on that day that will keep you comfortable? Have you done anything that will keep you safe on that day? Anybody? You know, maybe you have one or two things, but I don't think you're just super confident. I know. So what else is there to prepare for? Another, just to give you a small idea of what I'm talking about. Since, once again, high school kids, have you ever walked into the classroom thinking it's just a normal day, right? Comfortable, planning on just probably falling asleep at the back, whatever. And then the teacher says, all right, drop your books, put down your whatever, and it's time for a test, you know. And they say, okay, get ready. And then you just get this pain, this terrible, disgusting feeling in the pit of your stomach. What, today? Why didn't I know? Why was I spending my time on MSN with this guy, on the phone, with this person? What was I thinking? Why was I wasting my time with all this garbage? And then you're sitting there like, how did I not know? You're like, what, you didn't check your agenda or something? No, I could have, but I didn't. Oh, and you wish and you regret, and that disgusting, painful feeling you get, that had I just prepared. Imagine that multiplied by infinity on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Imagine having all the chances, and you never took one. So, that's the idea that I'm trying to relate to you today. And I think about that. I think about that a lot. I think about that feeling that some people will have. And I think about my buddies from the past, too. I think about how these guys would hold up, and everybody just like them. And I think about what these guys might go through. And subhanAllah, maybe what are they going to do? Run up to an NBA star? Or, I don't know, 50 Cent or Eminem, and they run up, or Tupac from My time. They're going to run up to one of these guys and say, listen, I used to listen to your stuff. I put my time into your life, man. I would memorize your lyrics. I would put time into buying your CDs. I even bought the clothes that you wore. Come on, help me out. Give me something today. Give me something on this day when I need it the most. I put so much time into acting like you, walking like you. I looked up to you, man. Give me something. Give me anything today. You're going to wish. All these guys are going to wish they could get anything from I don't know, Eminem or 50 Cent or whatever it may be, right? Because if you put your time into listening to them, if you put your money, then you're putting your life. That is your life. Every second is your life. So if you're putting your time into these people, you're putting your life into these people. And on Yom Kippur, you're going to want some payback. Give me something. I did so much for you. Please give me anything. You don't even know your name. What? Get away from me. I have nothing for myself. What can I give to you? So I think about that. And I think about my friends, and I think about how sad it is that these people don't have guidance, and so many people don't. But alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed you enough to be here to just reflect on these ideas. And just to give a few closing remarks, inshallah. Just wanted to mention that every sin that you do leaves a black stain on your heart. Every sin that you do leaves a black little dot on your heart. And the more and more sins you do, the more and more dots get put, until eventually, if you just keep doing that, your heart becomes black and rusted. And the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not enter. So, sometimes I wonder, of all the people listening here today, are there going to be people that go back and actually change their actions, and actually consider what they should do with their lives? And it's not just me or any other speech that you might hear. Does it affect you? Or has your heart been so rusted over that you don't feel anything anymore? And you say, yeah, he was okay, yeah, and that's it. That's as much as I got across. Secondly, I don't want people to think that this is a religious thing, quote unquote, because there's sort of a stigma attached to that word. Because it's not about religion, particularly. It's about logic. Just think about it. If I said to you, to anyone here, that you're going to go traveling to China for a day, one day, you're going to go to China. You guys would say to yourself, okay, well, I'm going to pack my stuff. Not too much to pack, but just a few things here and there. Maybe find out what area I'm going to be landing in, maybe find out about the taxi service, maybe find out a few street names, something like that. I don't know. Try to figure out something. Maybe where am I going to go if there's a tourist resort? Just for one day, do a little bit of preparation, right? Obviously. What if you're going to go for a month? To Africa, let's say. Or somewhere else. Anywhere you travel to, obviously you're going to get tetanus shots, you're going to find out, I got to learn some of the language, I at least have to say, I at least have to find out how to say, hello, bye, and thank you, at least. So you're going to do some preparations before you go anywhere, right? So think about the afterlife. This isn't a religious point, this is just a fact of life. We don't know about anything except one thing, death. That's the one thing we can guarantee. You can't guarantee me tomorrow, you can't guarantee me you'll have a wife or a husband or kids, you can't guarantee any of that. You can guarantee death, that's the one thing. So from that point of view, from that simple fact, if you know that you will die and if you know that you'll be dead forever, isn't that enough to say, well, if I'm going to be traveling there, maybe I should do some preparations before I make that trip? Doesn't that deserve my time at all? So my advice to everyone here, and I hope I was not unclear when I was mentioning that yes, Muslims can have fun, by the way. It's not haram. And you can look good, you can dress nicely, and you can have wealth, obviously. It's not haram. But my point in all of this was value. Where do you place your value? How do you distinguish a good day from a wasted day, let's say? What do you value? What gives you merit as a human being? What do you value in yourself? And I find it incredible that we all know that a farmer would never plant seeds of an orange tree and expect an apple tree to come out, right? Simple enough logic. How is it that day after day we're planting the seeds of hellfire, expecting the fruits of Jannah, expecting the fruits of paradise? How does that work? How does any human being logically click that in their mind and just sort of accept that as a done deal? It doesn't make any sense. So brothers and sisters, please consider these points. And lastly, before I close, I just wanted to say, be mindful of who you chill with. You know, even the Westerners know this. There's a famous, I don't remember, I think he's a famous scholar or something. He said, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. This is a concept in Islam, this is a concept in the West, this is a concept everywhere. Everybody knows it's a fact of life. Who you chill with defines heavily who you are. And if you didn't get the point, my whole speech was revolved around who do you chill with. So if you have terrible friends like I once had, and I didn't see them as terrible, keep in mind, but it was their values that made the point. If you have friends like that, then consider, maybe you should start chilling with the person that invited you here today. Maybe you should start chilling with the people that put this together, organized this. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Wa jazakallahu ta'ala khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Takbir! Takbir!